What's going on, guys? For those who haven't seen me before, my name is Josh. I am a hobbyist miner, and I'm documenting my journey as I build up my mining operation and alternate forms of passive income to show others who might be interested in what I'm doing, the steps I'm taking to build up my investments and potentially achieve financial freedom in the future. So a little over a month ago, I posted a video about my first helium mining deployment in Seattle, Washington. And in that video, I also gave a couple-week update on the status and progress on my helium miner. I was projected to make anywhere between $600 to $800 a month mining helium. I kind of put off this follow-up video for multiple different reasons. Most of you guys probably don't know this, but I am the founder of a startup called Pantheon Lab. We specialize in high-end ergonomic keyboards for people with carpal tunnel, nerve damage, multiple different RSIs in their wrist, and we specialize in making keyboards that are accessible and affordable for people with damage like that. We just launched our second product this month, and let me show you guys. Actually, we just launched our Pantheon Lab Olympian desk mats. This has been taking up a ton of time for me. This is actually our first product that we ever launched. This is the Atlas 65. This actually sold out within a month of launching, which was awesome. This is one of 3 of our desk mats that I have been working on for the past month and a half, trying to figure out fulfillment and logistics, since quality control and everything else has been figured out. This is extremely comfortable and extremely useful for people who work long hours on a desk or on a computer like me, and I wanted to make this as high-end as possible. But this has been what's been taking up most of my time for the past month and a half. It's not like I have really rich investors or venture capitalists investing in me and my company's mission, but if you do want to support my company and our mission, the link is down below. This is by far the hardest thing I have ever done in my life, and it has been the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life. The desk mats are on sale for $20, and the link to my website and the desk mats are down below in the description. If you want to support my company, it really would mean a lot. But after that, let's get into it. So moving right along, we're gonna pull up the Helium Explorer. Keep in mind, guys, if you're gonna be seeing this video later in the future, the current price of helium as of December 21st is $38.26. The price of the coin pumped like crazy with a lot of mainstream adoption on the larger exchanges. But going back to the Helium Explorer, a lot of helium miners have been onboarded onto the network, and that's been congesting the network significantly, and it's been really cutting down on a lot of our profitability, which, it's not the end of the world, because you're still making a lot of money if you have the right placements and the right configuration on your miner. Keeping in mind the helium network crashing multiple times throughout this month as well as last month, POC V11 screwing up a lot of rack miners, I've made about $1,000 in profit over the past month and a half. So definitely, if there weren't any issues with the blockchain, I definitely would have made more than $1,100, $1,200 in profit per month. As you can see, I'm getting a lot of witnesses and a lot of average beacons. I'm making about 0.34 for helium as of today, which actually is a little bit lower than normal. Usually, within the past 7 days, I've been making about 0.4, 0.5, 0.6. Like I was saying earlier, the Helium network has been crashing a lot. There's been a lot of hiccups and issues with the Helium blockchain. You can see these huge profitability dips all throughout the week. Like this, there was a point of 0 profitability. I was making no coins. I attribute a lot of the profitability to having 0 obstructions, having a clear line of sight all the way across the water. I am witnessing miners not only from 1 kilometer, which that was what I was expecting initially, but I'm witnessing miners from all the way here, all the way up here. Guys, that's over 10 kilometers. That's crazy. That's so far. And I only have a 2.3 dBi antenna, which is relatively pretty low. You would expect to only get 5 kilometers of witnessing with such a low dBi gain antenna. But keep in mind, I have no obstructions. I am very high up, and I have a clear line of sight all the way across the state, which is awesome. That's leading to my huge amount of witnesses. A lot of miners have been onboarding onto the network. You can see this area was somewhat pretty sparse. There were a lot of miners in the area already before I arrived, but within the past month and a half, many different hexes have already filled up with other miners in the area. But yeah, the network's been building out like crazy, and that's scaling down profitability a lot. You look at the transmit scale, all in Seattle, you have a really low transmit scale. Like in this area right here, that's probably like a 0.01 transmit scale. Yeah, all these miners are seeing transmit scales below 0.2, which is really low, and you're gonna experience a lot of very, very little to no profitability. I'm in a hex with it's not a really great transmit scale. It was 0.6 yesterday, but it's been going down because everyone's starting to sync up to the blockchain again. But even though I have a really low transmit scale, I'm making up for it with seeing a lot of witnesses and getting a lot of average beacons over a 7-day average. You know, these miners, they're not next to me. They're really far out. Like some of these guys are in Seattle, Shoreline. Shoreline is all the way up here, guys. All the way up here. And what dictates a lot of the profit when you're helium mining is being able to witness miners that have a high transmit scale. I'm witnessing a lot of miners. Even though I'm witnessing a lot of miners, I'm witnessing a lot of miners with very low transmit scales, like all in Seattle. These are 0.01, 0.1, 0.2 transmit scales on these miners. And that's gonna scale down my profitability, compounded with the fact that I also have a low transmit scale. The solution I proposed to myself to increase my earnings is trying to reach other helium miners with high transmit scales. Now, as you can see right here, all the red and orange are miners that are in really overcrowded hexes or in areas where there's just too many miners around. But in this area of green, you have a lot less dense of helium miners in the area, and that's going to lead to a lot higher transmit scale. As you can see right here, you've got miners with a 0.1 transmit scale, which is that's pretty good. I mean, I wish I was in a 0.1 transmit scale in my hex. I would definitely be making at least $1,000 a month. I know for a fact that if my miner can witness beacons from these helium hotspots with perfect transmit scales, I will definitely be breaking the $600 to $800 profitability every month if I'm witnessing this many average beacons every month. I'm still witnessing some, like I get maybe 1 to 3 or maybe even 4 witnesses from helium hotspots with these really high transmit scales, but majority of my witnesses are coming from areas with low transmit scale. My solution to witnessing beacons from these high transmit scale helium miners is using a higher gain antenna. Now, I purchased a 4 dBi rack wireless antenna that I'll be installing in my miner, and it should be coming within the next week and a half, and I'll record a video about that. But I'm having a feeling that, you know, I don't really need a super high gain antenna to reach these miners. If I'm already reaching miners all the way in Shoreline and Mill Creek with just a 2.3 dBi antenna, definitely having a 4 dBi antenna will increase my witnesses of these really high transmit scale miners. 1,000-foot overview for you guys who might not understand radio frequencies and antenna gain. If you have a higher antenna gain, generally you're gonna punch out farther, you're gonna be able to punch through obstacles better, and you're just gonna go cover longer distances. The one caveat with that is as you increase your antenna gain, you're going to decrease the angle at which your polarization from your antenna transmits out. Now, I'm using a 2.3 dBi antenna gain. It's gonna create a polarization that's much higher and more round, but not punch out as far. But when you use an antenna gain that is higher, you're gonna punch out your signal even farther, but it's gonna be a lot more donut shaped. So you're gonna have a lot more of a narrower antenna polarization. If I use too high of an antenna gain, I most likely will not be able to witness these miners near my area. But I still will be able to witness miners that are farther away. Now, whether or not I should, just try and reach these higher transmit scale miners, or just try and make up for having a low transmit scale by seeing a lot of miners, remains to be seen. I don't know. I don't have 2 miners in the area to test this theory out. I do have an 8 dBi antenna from Rack Wireless actually behind me. I am planning on using that for another miner deployment that I have planned in the next couple weeks. 4 dBi would be a good middle ground between still being able to witness all these miners near my area, but also being able to reach these higher transmit scale miners. I don't really know yet. I'm waiting for that antenna, and I'll record a video about that when it comes. But yeah, guys, I mean, honestly, my helium mining has been going great. I'm really enjoying it a lot. It is the easiest money I've ever made in my life. I wish I got into this earlier. I wish I had more miners, and I do have 2 more miners coming on the way. It's been really, really hard to get helium miners at the moment. I did purchase 2 other helium miners that should be coming in the next month. I'm not gonna list the exact name for the miner that I purchased because, to be quite frank, I don't trust this company. I want to show you guys some helium miners that I've been taking a lot of notes from when it comes to optimizing my helium mining setups all across the state. I've been taking reference from these helium miners in this area. This is Tacoma. There's a lot of high, tall skyscraper buildings around this area. Not a lot of trees because it is the city, But despite that, a lot of these miners are making a lot of HNT still. Even though like the halving happened a couple months ago, these miners are making so much helium. It's crazy. He's making 20 helium a month. I think that helium's probably going to be a $50 to $60 coin in the long run, thinking of 3 years. He's rolling in 20 helium a month. He was making 30 before the blockchain was like, crashing and just doing absolutely dog. You look at his profitability, or his total HNT earnings. Yeah, he definitely made more than 60. Now, another miner that I have been taking a lot of notes from is this one right here, Hot Purple Viper. Now, this guy has a really optimal helium mining setup. He's 12 meters in the air and has an 8 dBi antenna. That's translating into 20 helium a month. He's witnessing so many miners in the area. It's not so many. He's only witnessing 47 miners in the area, but guys, all the miners he's witnessing have high transmit scales. And he's relatively, compared to everyone else around the area, he's witnessing a lot of beacons. So that's why his earnings are so high, and he's stacking helium like crazy. Man, I really want to get all my miners super high in the air. This guy's spoofing for a fact. I've already checked it, so I don't even want to go through that. That's kind of the discouraging part about the Helium network. They really need to deal with spoofers and scammers. It's frustrating to see it. But this is another example of really good optimal Helium placement. All these miners right over here have a clear line of sight. There's no buildings across the water over here, and they're witnessing all these miners in the downtown, which is a lower elevation area. He's having 77 witnesses within 5 days and 473 average beacons within the past 7 days. He's making a lot. He's making 30 helium a day. And how he's able to do that is he has not too high of a antenna gain, but he's really high up in the air, 9 meters in the air. It's about 2 stories, 1.5 stories high, but he's also on a really high elevation area, really high ridge. So I kind of get tired of seeing people complain about, oh, my helium miners aren't making a lot of money, blah, 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 blah. Guys, you're not optimizing your helium miner placement. You need to be high up in the air. You need to have the right antenna placement. You can't be using an 8 dBi antenna in the middle of the city, because if you're really high up on a skyscraper, but you have an 8 dBi antenna, you're gonna be overshooting all those miners in your city. That's a terrible idea. It's a couple weeks when the Helium network starts to plateau and stabilize out, not having the blockchain crash every single week. I'm gonna be back to earning 15 HNT per month, which I'm really excited about. Unless if the transmit scale starts to decrease even more, hopefully there won't be too many miners overcrowding this hex. I really don't think that's gonna happen, because people are starting to realize that overcrowding a hex, you're not gonna make anything, guys. You wanna have optimal placement. That's just like end all be all. You need to have good placement. But yeah, guys, that's about it. Honestly, Helium mining's been going great. I'm seriously enjoying it. I'm looking forward to getting those other miners and placing them in alternative locations, so I could be making 15, 30, maybe 45 Helium per month. That'd be really awesome. But yeah, guys, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like my company's mission, please feel free to support us by checking out our website and trying to cop one of the desk mats that we have. We also have a future keyboard that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. If you want to support me directly without having to go buy a desk mat, or you don't need it, feel free to donate to me. My wallet address is right here, joshnguyen.eth. I'm definitely gonna show you guys how to get a personalized wallet address for the Ethereum network in a future video, but it's pretty cool. If you liked the video, leave a comment down below, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell when you're done. Thank you guys, take it easy.